Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, and this is part 6 of the modular environment modeling series that we're doing here in Blender. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I actually made a part 6 this morning. And what I did was I finished up the column and I made this high wall up here. And it was about an hour's worth of work, and I'm still trying to figure out what's happening. I don't know what happened, but I lost all of that footage for some reason. I swear I pressed start record and stop record, so I don't know what happened to it. So, yeah, I thought I had something new to post this morning, and I looked through all of my files for at least 10 minutes and I couldn't find where it was. So, at least for now, I lost the footage, but so I do apologize about that. But yeah, so I started filming this video and I said part 7. And I went back on my channel. I was like, I only have part 5 so far. So yeah, I misplaced part 6. So this is officially going to be part 6 of this series. And let me just double check. Okay. Alright, so it is recording. So I don't want to lose two things. So, alright, so we went ahead in that last video that you guys, I guess, won't be able to see. And I modeled that. So it's just a high wall which fits the modular dimensions of the wall. So it brings up the total wall height to, I believe, 4 units. And you can see if I hide the column, the pipe still goes on. So it should look good once you put two together. So yeah, that works. And what I said I would do in this video is quickly, or as quick as I can, try to unwrap everything. And then we can put it into Substance Painter. So first I need to assign some materials, because not all of these will be able to have the same material. Obviously I'll take the glass out of the equation because that will be its own material later, because it's going to need a transparent shader, and glass is just a completely different material from everything else. But all of these will just use the standard Unity shader in HDRP. I believe that's the HDRP lit shader. So yeah. So we need to start assigning some materials. So I'll call this column, and I'll just make it a different color from everything else, and I'll take a look at it in the material preview. So what else can we join together? So anyways, the problem is that if all of these had the same material, there wouldn't be enough texture space in the UVs to go around, and everything would be pretty low res. And I don't want that for this game. So alright, I'll add a new material. And I guess I can make it low wall. I suppose this could be its own material as well. I don't know. I don't want to make too many materials. Because this window frame is going to need a material as well. I guess what I could do is I could make the column a material, and I could make the walls a material. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so I'll call this modular wall, and I'll make it the proper color now, and I'll make the column a reasonable color. Alright, so at this point, anything with the same material I'm going to combine into the same object. Alright, we'll hide the column. And let's start by unwrapping this window, I guess. So the way I unwrap is I don't use Smart UV Project because you don't get the most out of your texture space. So I unwrap everything myself by using seams and by just simply pressing U and unwrap. And over time you sort of learn where you have to put the seams in order to get a good unwrap. And that just takes time. But there's a lot of tutorials on that out there. I think I'm just going to try to do this as quickly as possible. Alright, so if I mark those seams and I unwrap, let's see what we get. So it's not bad. There's really nothing wrong with that. So I'll just leave that the way it is for now. And I'll know it's the window just because that the unique look it has. Like you can sort of tell that that's a window frame already. So I'm just going to position all of these UVs in a way so that we can maximize all of our texture space. Alright, so that looks good, and I'll drag this down to the bottom. And just I'll put it out of view for now, so we don't have to take a look at it. Alright, next up is this wall. And this is tricky, because I think I'm going to need a version of the wall that doesn't even have the window cut out. Well, I'll just go ahead and unwrap it. And yeah, it's that easy for the wall. Alright, sure. So now I'll go ahead and do this, what I modeled in the other video. Just trying to think about the best ways to unwrap some of these things. And you definitely need to look at the wireframe for some of these, because it can be hard to see what you're actually doing. I don't think I need that seam there. And I'm trying to keep all the seams I do symmetrical. Alright, next up I'll unwrap the pipe. And I realized I definitely don't need all of these back faces, so why don't I just get rid of them? And that will actually take care of the unwrapping for me. And if I unwrap this shape, will it just... Okay, yeah, so that works. What about this one? Oh yeah, so we don't have to unwrap those ourselves. Okay, so there's that wall. And now we'll just quickly unwrap all of this. So yeah, for me at least, unwrapping goes pretty quickly. It used to take me forever to try to find where to put seams so that you get the unwrap you want and you don't distort any meshes or any textures. But yeah, now it's not so bad. So I might put seams around all of these cabinets. And this shape, I'm gonna have to go back to that and unwrap it a little bit differently than I'm doing with others. But that's fine. But yeah, unwrapping is never fun. I was actually thinking about skipping this step, or at least not recording it, but it shouldn't take too long. But yeah, I don't think I've ever actually enjoyed unwrapping before. I wish I did. I know some people enjoy it. But it's just one of those things that if you do enjoy it, it can take away a lot of pain because you have to unwrap everything you do. One way or another, whether you do it automatically or you do it yourself, you still have to unwrap. Alright, so I think that's almost everything done. Of course, I have to do those pipes and these hinges up here. Alright. So I'm just doing a couple of these small details now of these cylinders that I just threw on. Okay, I already unwrapped those, and I'm trusting that everything's done except for these shapes. So how do I want to unwrap these? Let me just see if it does unwrap well. You know, that's not that bad. It is bad, isn't it? I don't know why I was saying it wasn't bad. That would not have worked. I think that should work though. Not really. Alright, so I think that checks out. So I'm going to unwrap all of these in the same way. And actually, I might have messed up here. Okay. Yeah, I forgot one step. Alright. So now I know how to do it. So it should be a lot faster. That's one down, one left. So, okay, just like that. Alright, so that looks like the whole thing done. So yeah, the UVs are a whole mess right now, but if we just unwrap it, you can see everything looks perfect. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now what I'm gonna do is uncheck, or actually apply, all of the mirror modifiers. And now I'm going to join all of these meshes up together. And now that we've checked that the UVs actually work, what I can do is unwrap it one last time. So now this is the full UVs. Or what I could do is combine them by hand. Actually, I think I might do it that way. Because this way we can, it's better to leave texel density up to you. Because what I mean by that is this wall, for instance, doesn't need much detail at all because there's a column in the way on both sides. So what would be the point of this wall taking up so much space, you know? So Blender doesn't know the use of this wall, but we do. So we know it doesn't need to have much texel density, or what I mean by that is much texel space in this UV plane here. So we can shrink it down ourselves because we know it's not very important. And I can just drop it into this corner, for instance. All right. So I'll take these walls. So I think I need to tweak a couple things. I don't want these seams here on the window, so I'll clear those. And I don't want these seams on the wall. Alright, so let me select this wall now. Unwrap it. That's better. But I'm just going to leave the wall like that, honestly. Alright, I'm going to separate the wall from the mesh quickly. And I'm just going to go in and select this whole window. Separate it from the rest of the mesh. Make sure we've selected the whole thing. And I'm going to unwrap that one more time. I don't like that. Alright, you know what? So basically what I was doing there was I wasn't sure on whether I wanted all of these textures to be unique from side to side, so that we would have to apply the mirror modifier and then we would have to unwrap. But I realized there's no point to that, and all that would do is cut down on our texel density. So yeah, instead of mirroring it first and then unwrapping, I'll just leave the unwrap like this, and that way we have more texel space. So yeah, it took me a little bit of experimenting to realize that's what I want to do. But basically you just need to find your priorities. So you have to think, do you want any, like, basically, if you were making something organic, say this was a brick wall, and you had damage on one side. In order for it to be organic, you need variation. So you don't want that same damage to be on the other side in the same exact spot, because people will be able to tell the difference. So that's when you'll want a unique unwrap. But for this, since it's going to be all nice and clean and sci-fi anyways, there's really no need. So I would take having more texture resolution over that. All right. And I forgot what this was. This was the high wall. Okay. So what I'm going to do is try to scale everything up and see if we can still fit it all in. Because we want to maximize the amount of space we can utilize. Alright, so that works. And now it's just a matter of fitting in this final part here. So that looks like a good space for the pipe right there. And we're really just stacking stuff up, as you can see. That works here. And Control L to select the entire UV island, rotate 90. And alright, so I'd say that the unwrap went pretty well. Only thing I'm realizing now is we didn't include this wall here. So, where do I want to put this? So I'll grab all of this, rotate 90. I saw a good space for it right here. And the wall should be able to fit in. And it can be scaled down a little bit, it's not a big deal. Maybe I could slide this over a little bit. So that way we can scale this up. And alright, perfect. So this is the full unwrapping video on this wall. So in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and texture this, and then later on we'll unwrap this column, which shouldn't be too bad, and then we'll go ahead and texture that. So alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for losing the footage on making this part up here, but that's okay. There's going to be a lot more modeling to come and still a lot more content to come out. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for your support so far, and I will see you guys all in the next video.